Dear friends, I'm very happy to welcome you to our webinar dedicated to the amazing island of Cyprus. I'm very happy and very grateful that you found time in your busy lives to join me to find out a little bit about this beautiful island and about all the options that it can offer. And today, I was thinking to make the webinar as interactive as possible. And during the webinar, I will be asking many times to write your feedback, write your questions, and have a chance to have a very real-life interactive webinar when I will be able to answer as many questions as possible. And to start with, I always like to start our webinar asking, where are you listening from? Where are you now? Are you already in Cyprus? Are you thinking to come to Cyprus? Where are you now? And what is the main reason why you decided to join our webinar? I can see that we're already people in Limassol, so I'm pretty sure that you would know almost everything that I will be sharing during this webinar, because it is actually the introduction to Cyprus. It's introduction of why people are looking into Cyprus, why people consider buying property in Cyprus. And oh my God, okay, thank you. I have some people from the UK, I have Jerusalem, I have Costa Rica, I have Netherlands, UK in the process of relocating to Cyprus, Tel Aviv, interested in an investment, London. So I can see lots of people from the UK and lots of people from Israel, some people from Cyprus. So listeners from Cyprus, I will really be very happy when you will be confirming to what I'm saying, if you agree with what I'm saying or not. Okay, thank you. And guys, anytime you have any questions, please share your questions. Please send your questions to me and I will be very, very happy to answer. So today is, as I mentioned before, it's an introduction part of our webinars, and it is dedicated to Cyprus, and we decided to call it Insider's Guide to Cyprus Real Estate, Opportunities and Challenges. But why do I call it Insider's Guide? Let me introduce myself to you, and after this short introduction, I'm sure you will understand that actually I do have pretty much insider's view and insider's guide. So my name is Anastasia Yianni, and I'm the CEO and partner of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. But I think that the most important part is not the title, is not the name, but it's the fact that for the last 23 years, I've been working in Cyprus real estate market. First as a salesperson and as a manager, sales manager of one of the leading developers in the island, and then as the founder and the CEO of Cyprus Sotheby's International Realty. On top of the practical experience, I also have a degree in real estate, which allows me to see the general picture, to see what it's all about. So, and on top of that, 24 years ago, I moved to Cyprus and built my life here. So in a way, it's personal, practical, scientific experience all in one. And most important, I really love properties and I really love Cyprus. Sotheby's International Realty is probably the largest international luxury real estate network. And why is it important? Why is it important that our network has offices in 84 countries? It's important because we have a wider picture. I'm always in touch with other offices, with other countries. I understand what is happening in other countries. Very often we refer the clients between our countries, and actually now I can see increased interest from certain countries to Cyprus. So I also understand very well that when you are in the UK, when you are in Israel, you have lots of options. So it's important that we can share global perspective and Cyprus experience. And our office, our company, we work all over Cyprus with all developers and private sellers. We are licensed real estate agents. We are very multilingual. We are very careful with all the properties that we sell because we are consider ourselves not just agents, we are actually your experts and your consultants to make the purchase in Cyprus and to make your investment very, very successful. Okay, so what shall we discuss today? Today we will talk a bit about Cyprus as a very attractive destination and its advantages. We will discuss with you what are the main drivers, but actually we already see even in our chat that we have people looking for vacation home. We have people looking for relocation. So all of these we discussed during the webinar as well. We'll discuss the residency. We discuss what Cyprus real estate market is now. What are the trends? What are the popular regions, market challenges? And we discuss a little bit of investment strategies and opportunities. And at the end, we will have a really, really nice bonus, but I will tell you about it later. So let's start. And once again, please, anytime you have question, type it in the chat. The chat is not censored, so any questions. If the question is suitable for what I'm telling during my presentation, I will answer immediately. If not, I will definitely leave enough time to answer all the questions in the end of the webinar. So let's discuss why there are so many people who are interested in such a small country, in this small island called Cyprus. And in all the years that I've been working, in fact, I would say that these first four drivers were always present. And the biggest, of course, is the lifestyle that Cyprus offers. This is when people are looking to relocate to Cyprus, to buy a nice vacation home. And as I have seen from our chat, even here, lots of people are looking for these options. Of course, on top of the lifestyle, Cyprus offers lots of other benefits. And one of them is business relocation for the company or personal taxation, which again is one of the best in Europe. On top of that, Cyprus has a very easy and transparent immigration rules because it's all good when you are part of the European Union. You can travel freely between the countries. You can stay in any European country as long as you want to. But if you are not part of the European Union, then wherever you're buying a property, it's important to understand, how can I use it? Can it be only a short vacation home, or can I actually live here? So that's why the immigration rules have always been very big advantage of Cyprus. And of course, Cyprus is a great investment destination. And in fact, recently I was doing an advanced webinar dedicated only for investment. And the figures and the returns are really, really good and really, really high. So let's start with advantages. Why people are choosing Cyprus for relocation? And of course, as I mentioned before, it's a lifestyle that Cyprus offers. And the first and foremost, of course, it's the sunny weather. Of course, like we know very well that in Israel, it's also very sunny. So I would say that probably our weather is a bit milder, but still it offers 340 sunny days per year. In Cyprus, we do not have any heavy industry. So the air is very clean, unless we have a sandstorm from Sahara, which happens several times a year. But overall, the air is very clean. The atmosphere is amazing. The Cyprus is, for many, many years, has been voted to have the cleanest beaches in Europe and the best water for swimming. Cyprus has excellent healthcare, which I will cover a little bit later. Very hospitable locals. Being a foreigner myself, I can tell you that I've never felt myself a foreigner, and actually now I am a Cypriot. But in general, the attitude of Cyprus is very, very warm. Even though Cyprus is an island, it has global connections. So it's very easy to travel anywhere, any continent, any destination. It's extremely easy. Cyprus has British law-based legal system. And why is it important? It's important because it's very understandable. On top of it, English language is widely spoken, so most of your documents, most of the contracts can be done in English, or almost everywhere you will find the bills, invoices, government websites, absolutely everything will have English translation. And also British law is precedent law. So you can understand that if something happened before and there was a decision, that if the precedent was created, that's what will happen now. So this leads to more transparency, and this leads to more understanding of what is happening, which is again very important, especially if you compare with other countries where it's not so transparent. And for the sake of this presentation, we put English language widely spoken. But to be honest, almost every language is widely spoken in Cyprus. There are lots of communities, there are lots of places where the people of same language get together. There are lots of schools. So again, the transition, the adaptation in Cyprus is very easy. And if you're thinking about relocation, of course, this is a very important point. Cyprus is a very safe country. For many, many years, it was voted one of the safest country from the small countries. And even now, even though we're in the middle of lots of geopolitical conflict, it's still considered a very safe country. Education is excellent, but I will cover education in the next slide. And in general, Cyprus offers lots and lots of lifestyle opportunities. It has modern banking and legal system. Again, I always do a disclaimer. When I say modern banking, it doesn't mean that it's easy. It's quite strict banking system. And in fact, one of the skills that we all achieved now, we became very good at understanding all the KYC procedures for the banks. We became very well prepared how to help our clients to successfully pass KYC in the banks and make sure that the money will reach Cyprus. For small countries, Cyprus has huge historical heritage. There were so many different phases, there were so many different periods in Cyprus, and it's all reflected in the different locations. And even though it's a small place, you can make extremely interesting program for seeing different locations, different architectural points and cultural heritage. In general, Cyprus has excellent infrastructure and, of course, an excellent and highly advantageous tax system. I'm not a tax advisor, and I don't intend to behave as one. But here I will share with you some of the main points that make Cyprus so attractive, both for companies and for individuals. Cyprus is not an offshore jurisdiction. It's a proper, very clean European jurisdiction, which has extremely advantageous conditions. So when we see on the slide about taxes so many zeros, I think it's an excellent thing. So Cyprus now has 0% on passive income for non-domicile individuals. It has 0% property tax. It has 0% inheritance tax. It has 5% pension tax, and the corporate tax is 12.5%, but for IT companies, it's even less. Rental income will not qualify as passive income, so you will need to pay the tax on rent. Okay, so passive income, it will be dividends, etc., etc. And actually, we have done recently, in my opinion, it was a very interesting advanced webinar that was dedicated to tax, and it was comparison between UK and Cyprus. Okay, and good question, who qualify as non-domicile? Okay, to become, first of all, to benefit from 0% on passive income for non-domicile, you need, and pension tax as well, you need to become tax resident in Cyprus. And tax residency in Cyprus is based on the number of days that you stay in Cyprus. And at the moment, we have two schemes. One is the standard, that is international, like in general. For many countries, they use it. This is the rule of 183 days. You need to stay in Cyprus at least 183 days per calendar year. But also in Cyprus, we have 60 days rule. To qualify for 60 days rule, you need to, you cannot stay in any other country more than 183 days. You need to have a business activity in Cyprus and may either to be employed or to have a company. And you need to have a place of residence, either as your ownership or rented. So this is the first part. So you became tax resident in Cyprus. Then the second part, you will check whether you are domicile or non-domicile. And non-domiciles are people who are not Cypriots, who are not born Cypriot, and who are not taxpayers, if I remember correctly, for the previous 20 years before moving to Cyprus. So these are the points, but I will double check the previous one. So, and after you classed as non-domicile for the next 17 years, you will be considered a non-domicile individual and you will pay 0% on passive income tax. Again, guys, not a tax advisor. So if you would like to get a proper in-depth tax consultation, we're very happy to refer you to probably the best tax advisors in the island. But you can see why so many people choose Cyprus as a combination of excellent lifestyle plus amazing savings. Okay, so let's move on. So now let's see, what would be the living cost in Cyprus? And again, this is only indication, because we understand very well that some people may spend much more, and we chose like more on the lower side of the expenses. But generally, if we're looking for the water, electricity, water would be about 25 euros per month, and you're billed every 3 months. Electricity bills can be from 60 euros and even less. Internet from 30 euros. Petrol now is about 1.6. Public transport is 2 euros, and actually public transport is getting better. Restaurant meal can be as little as 10, 13 euros, or as much as your imagination takes you. And actually, food is amazing in Cyprus. And once I did, when we just started this craziness with AI, I actually asked the AI are the most known things and what are the advantages of Cyprus. And one thing came out, it was the quality of food. And now, so the food is amazing, and there are so many various restaurants. So now you can there are so many options, both price wise and type wise. Insurance starting from 200 euros and going up. Now let's look at the healthcare, because it's all good that you move to Cyprus and everything is wonderful, but I'm sure that if you have a family and even if you just by yourself, you want to be certain that, God forbid something happens, you have good healthcare. And actually, healthcare in Cyprus is very, very good. I wouldn't go to mention that it is as good as in Germany or in Israel, but it's, compared to many other destinations, is very, very good. Especially if you have access to National Health Insurance Scheme. In Greek, it's called Yianni. So, if you're not part of National Health Insurance Scheme, then you can use the multitude of private doctors, and then you will need to pay for each visit, and it's between 30 to 50 euros. But of course, you may have your excellent health insurance packages where health insurance will be covering it all in full or partially. If you're part of National Health Insurance System, then you will have a family doctor, your general practitioner, who will be referring you to the expert, to the specialist. You only pay €6 for each visit. Practically all tests are free, and even operations, many operations are at very lower cost. Very huge discounts on medicines, and what is excellent, that via National Health Insurance Scheme you have access to public and private clinics, and there are lots of ways how you, like, if you're European, you can have access to the National Health Insurance Scheme. If you're non-European, that if you get permanent residency by investment, you can also have access to Yianni. And I like these numbers at the bottom. And there is even a joke in Cyprus that men in Cyprus live until 82 years old, and women in Cyprus never die. I think it's connected with a very good quality of life. And when I saw that in the world ranking, Cyprus is number 26, or that there are only 245 people per doctor, it's actually excellent numbers, and it shows that you never need to wait long to see the specialist. In many cases, you will be seen within very, very, very short period of time. And I know that especially in the UK, it's definitely not like that. So healthcare, another tick. Let's move to another very important point for lifestyle. If you have family, if you have children, of course you will be thinking about the quality of education. I am myself a mother. I have 2 kids who both go to school. Actually, my older one is finishing school and going actually to the army. My younger son is still in school, so I can again speak from my personal experience. And yes, everything that I share with you is about the Republic of Cyprus, which again, it's not quite politically correct to say, but yes, it's a Greek part of Cyprus. It's the Republic of Cyprus. So let's talk about education. You have, like with almost everything else, you have many options. You can either choose free education in Cyprus public schools. It's free for everyone, regardless of your nationality. One thing that it will be in Greek, and it will be Greek curriculum. Very important that education in Cyprus is obligatory. So every child who lives in Cyprus should attend school. If you do not want to go to the public schools, you can choose the private education. And again, most private schools in Cyprus follow British curriculum, and the teaching language is in English. The prices here are much better compared to many European countries. And here, of course, there is a variety between the schools, but more or less we're showing you the range that for the primary school, you will be expected to pay between 3,000 to 6,000 per year per child. For middle school, for secondary and senior school, it will be between 5,000 and 10,000 per year. Cyprus is also developing as a center for universities and colleges, and I enjoy to see the announcement of new universities opening up, to see the ratings of the universities. So Cyprus indeed is becoming Mediterranean center of universities. So your child can start from the private school, from kindergarten, and go all the way to university as well, and actually beyond as well, because there are lots of educational activities and facilities for third age groups. This is like when you want to get your master's or get a new professions, all these options are open as well. And after school activities, yes, there are plenty. There are so many art schools, there are so many sport clubs, dance schools, gymnastics, anything your heart desires, you will find in Cyprus. So I would say that for education, I would also give tick to Cyprus. Let's move on. Apart from the four main drivers that I mentioned, which were, let me remind you, lifestyle, taxation, immigration, and investment, lately we saw several additional drivers. And when I will be sharing with you some information about the state of supply and demand, you will see the huge increase of transactions in the last few years. The reason was that Cyprus as a government introduced several initiatives. The first one is the headquartering of companies. As I mentioned earlier, Cyprus has amazing taxation for the businesses. For IT businesses, it's even more. The tax goes completely down. And Cyprus is developing as a so-called tech island of the Mediterranean. The tech island meaning there are so many IT companies, there are so many startups, there are so many fintech companies coming to Cyprus. And of course, where there are so many people coming, they all need to live somewhere, either in rented accommodation or in owned accommodation. And of course, this drives the numbers as well. As I mentioned before, we have many new universities opening. This creates the whole new ecosystem, because with the university, we have more students. The campus is normally not enough, so more people are coming, more people are investing in student accommodation or accommodation near universities. So you see, all these legislative initiatives, they affect the real estate market as well. Then, last year, there was a new law for naturalization of highly skilled employees, because what we experience now, that there was an influx of the highly skilled people moving with their companies. And there was always this question, like, what happens if all of them get up and leave? Are we going to be left with empty properties? Are we going to be left with schools with no children? Because actually now it's very difficult to find a place in school, and now all the schools are increasing their their capacity. So in order to keep these talented individuals, last year the government introduced the new route to get citizenship by naturalization for highly skilled employees. So now for those types of individuals, they can get citizenship in 3 or in 4 years, depending on the level of their Greek knowledge. And another driver, which funny enough developed out because of the huge disaster after COVID, we noticed, and Mark Plus, if you agree with me, that lots of people, they realize that, you know what, life is too precious. We want to live in better country. We want to live in better conditions. We want to live in a healthy environment for ourselves and our children. And because thanks to COVID, we all learned to work online, we can see lots of people moving to Cyprus, digital nomad, just relocation of families, when people, they work online most of the times, so they don't need to seek employment in Cyprus, they don't need to create a new business, they keep working where they were working before, just moving to a better family, because now it's all the things are digital, all of this is possible. So again, we can see big influx of people who are looking for better conditions, and this also adds to the driver why Cyprus becomes popular. Okay, and I actually now I would like to hear from you. Did I cover the points of interest why you consider Cyprus? So just put plus if you agree that these are the factors that influence your interest to Cyprus. Okay, so just put plus or minus, and I move on. So now we discussed with you the advantages of Cyprus. We discussed with you the reasons why people are considering Cyprus, why this maybe could be of interest to you. Now let's move on a little bit deeper into Cyprus, and actually I will do already an announcement, because in May we are going to run a specialized webinar dedicated to different regions of Cyprus, and there it will be again very interactive. It will be with my colleagues, with our experts from different areas, where they will be sharing with you specifics of each and every region. But now I will just go quickly, so at least you can identify on the map and can get a little glimpse of the areas of Cyprus. And the first, I will start with Pafos area, because let's not forget that Cyprus is the birthplace of the goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite. And Aphrodite actually was, according to the legend, was born in the region of Pafos. So Pafos is the western area of the island. Here you can see it. And it's probably the most beautiful seaside town in Cyprus. It's very peaceful. It's very green. Mainly we have villas and low-rising buildings. It has such a rich history and so many archaeological parks that UNESCO actually listed the entire part of the town as a cultural heritage site. And also, because it's on the west, it has amazing sunset. Okay, now let's move to the business capital of Cyprus, and the area which is more with hustle and bustle. Actually, like, you know, what I love a lot about Cyprus, again, for such a small island, every area has a very unique characteristics, and depending on your personality, you will feel it yourself. So when we are working with investors who are looking for the lifestyle opportunities and they don't know Cyprus, we always recommend to visit all the areas so you can feel which part is best for you. So Limassol is the second largest city in Cyprus, but it is indeed the business capital of Cyprus. And if Pafos was the area of low-rise building, of mainly villas, Limassol is definitely the city of skyscrapers. If you are in Limassol, and I saw that lots of our Cypriot listeners are from Limassol, you know that now the seafront is the line of skyscrapers. Sometimes people who haven't visited Cyprus for a while, when they come again, they're like, what is it? Is it really Cyprus? Again, some people like this architecture, some people don't like this architecture, but it is definitely make the city outlook very modern and very, very interesting. Okay, many international companies have their headquarters here, so it's definitely the place of attraction. Of course, with every attraction comes the price. And if we are talking about the investment opportunities, we need to understand that Limassol will be the most expensive city. So if we will be taking, let's say, the standard apartment and moving in between the city, for the same property, the highest price will be in Limassol. The second highest will probably be in Pafos, then it will be Larnaca, and then it will be Yianni and Famagusta. And we are moving with you the same property. But interestingly enough, if we're talking about return on investment now, if you invest properly in a good area, good location, and tick all the boxes, hopefully with our help, return on the investment will be very similar between the city, but the entrance point will be different. Okay, now we move with the map, we move to the Larnaca area. And now I'm sure that probably you heard, maybe not, that Larnaca is very much in the center of investment activity. Even though Larnaca is the place of the oldest settlement on the island, in the recent years it was slightly forgotten, and there were lots of new developments in Pafos, in Limassol, in Nicosia, but in Larnaca the pace was much slower. But in the recent years there were several big announcements, several big projects coming to the market. There are several big movements coming in Larnaca, where they cleared all the seafront. So there is lots of activity because Larnaca is catching up with other areas. And another area that we will cover today is Famagusta area, but again we are only talking about the southern Cyprus, so it's not all of the area. And Famagusta area is Yianni, Protaras, Paralimni. In a way, it has a reputation of the holiday destination, of a proper tourist city, of the proper party town. And indeed, there is some truth to it, even though the area of Protaras and Paralimni, they're trying very hard to change this perception and to make it more a family destination. But still, I would say that, yes, it's more touristic area. So this was Famagusta. So let's move after the talking about the different regions of Cyprus. Let's talk a little bit about the immigration policies. And I will not be going into details because all of you have an amazing option that if you want to find more in details, please just mention in the chat or tell us that you would like to have a private consultation with our expert, and we will be able to answer all the questions. But on a general perspective, Cyprus has one of the best routes to permanent residency for non-Europeans. In many cases, it's called the golden visa or permanent residency by investment, and it's actually really good because compared to many other European destinations, it's quite low investment threshold. The status is granted to the whole family, so it's investor, spouse, and dependent children up to the age of 25 years old. You're also buying a home in the sun. At the moment, there is no language exam, no medical test, no interview, no tax consequences unless you want to use the tax consequences and unless you want to become the tax residents in Cyprus. And here we still write short application period, but unfortunately, even though in legislation it says 2-3 months, in reality now we can see the 8 to 10 months because the program is very, very popular. And the investment criteria are as follows. You need to invest 300,000 euros plus VAT when applicable, and you have several routes. You can invest either in residential properties, in non-residential properties, share capital of Cypriot company, or investment in the units of Cyprus investment funds. If you're investing in non-residential company or investment funds, you need to have either rented or owned accommodation. And that's why, to be completely honest, most of our investors, they go with investment in residential property. Because again, in many cases, they actually plan to stay in Cyprus. They want to either relocate or have a vacation home or have an investment that will generate them good, solid income. So majority of people go with the investment in residential property. And if you invest in residential property, it has to be first sale, meaning that the property has to be new from developer. I will not go into details because I just noticed that it's already 5:43 and I will try to finish with until 6, and I want to keep the time for questions and answers. But important thing that apart from purchasing the property, you will need to show once that you have secured annual income of at least 50,000 for main applicant, 15,000 for the spouse or adult child, and 10,000 for each minor child. And all adult applicants must provide clean criminal record and health insurance certificate. There was a question on top for how you can become part of Yianni. If you proceed with a permanent residency by investment, you have access to this national health care system. Do we have any European residents here? So, okay, I will go quickly. If you are European citizen, then it's very easy because in Europe, we have 4 major freedoms, and one of the freedom is the freedom to reside and freedom. Oh, congratulations with the yellow slip. So you have a freedom to reside and freedom to move in any European country. So the only thing that you need to do is follow what Borat has done, and you need to get so-called yellow slip, meaning that within 4 months of entering the Republic, you need to register with the local immigration department, and the procedure is quite easy. And if you have registration and if you have yellow slip, then you have the right to legally live in Cyprus without limitations, and you can legally work in Cyprus. Again, a note that if you are non-European citizen, even with a permanent residency by investment, you cannot be employed in Cyprus, but you have a freedom. You can build your own business and be a director in in your business. Do I need to have a job in Cyprus to get a yellow slip? No, you do not. You need to have European citizenship, and the important one, you need to show place of residency, meaning either sale contract that you have a property or tenancy agreement, and you need to show a statement in bank account in Cyprus with at least 1,000 euros available. These are the general rules. And for yellow slip holders, you can also register with YESI, our national healthcare system. If you do not want to, if you are not European citizen, or if you do not want to proceed with a permanent residency by investment, you can also try the route of temporary residency. In this case, you will need to renew your residency every year, because as non-European, you cannot stay more than your visa allows you. And there are also certain terms. Again, I will, because I want to cover a couple of more things, I will not cover every details, but if you are interested, please mark that I want the presentation, and we will share with you presentation of the webinar where you can see everything is very detailed, or we can cover it during our consultation. So, actually, I prepared lots of information about the real estate market performance because I personally love it. I'm fascinated by the numbers. I like seeing what is popular. And if you're looking for investment, I think it is important information. And I just say that our sales experts, our brokers, they know this data and they will be able to share with you. But I will just quickly go through. Here you can see, that the prices, they always go between supply and demand. So here we can see the demand side. And you can see that Cyprus is really a popular destination. Of course, we had a dip in 2020, but after the 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 were very busy. And we already discussed with you why. Unfortunately, not all the reasons were good. Lots of people moved because of various wars. And to be completely honest, I do not expect this year to stay at this level of demand because it was slightly artificial because of the wars. But I still believe that the demand will be very, very stable. We can see in this presentation, I used PwC presentation, data according to the district value, how it is distributed, what is more popular, apartments or houses, what is it residential, commercial, land, lots of information. But again, guys, I will share the presentation, or you can always download the PwC presentation because it just helps to understand what is happening, if you like it. If not, we will share with you all the data and discuss with you when and if we come to the further work together. If we look at the construction activity, this shows your supply, the future supply, and in Cyprus, lots of properties are bought off plan. In fact, this strategy, early bird investor, I would say is the most successful because you can get really, really good return. Now, if we look at the first 3 months, we can see that yes, there is a drop at the moment. Overall, we are the same level as 2023, but as I mentioned earlier, I do not expect us to stay as the level of the 2023 because it was just too high. I believe that we should drop a little bit, and it will be very interesting actually to see a bit later, and I will tell you when we can see in details. If we see the distribution of sales, we can see that Limassol, Pafos, Nicosia, Larnaca, these are the most popular destinations. In Cyprus, all the sales are registered in the land registry. and they're sharing this information openly, so even you can see it on the website. And they also separate the local buyers and the foreign buyers, and you can see all the statistics by the regions. Always Pafos and Limassol are most popular destinations for foreigners, and then we have Larnaca and Nicosia and Famagusta are further down. And this is how you can find out even more. Every quarter we publish detailed overview of residential market, and we already get the data for the first quarter of this year, and within the nearest 1 or 2 weeks we will publish the first residential overview of this year. Here we will analyze the volume of transactions, the value of transactions, and you can see the data per region. And my favorite part, for some reason, I love data per price bracket, when you can see how many properties were bought within the price range. If you're thinking to invest in Cyprus, just give you an outline that there are several strategies that you can discuss with our experts. Even I put investment in your lifestyle, I also put it as investment, even your personal property, because you don't know what will happen, where maybe you will get bigger family, so you will need a bigger house. Maybe you will need smaller house. Maybe you will like different location. So even for personal properties, we always analyze investment aspect of the property. There is a very successful strategy, buy to let, when you either use it for vacation and rent it when you're not using it, or you're going on a bigger scale and you get several apartments or offices, so various scales and uses. Very popular early buyer strategy, when you enter investment early and get the best possible price. For larger investors, it's possible to participate in construction as a partner. Lots of developers welcome the partnership. And of course, there is also a flip strategy, when you buy old assets, add value, and sell it later on. The buying process in Cyprus is very, very simple. The first step, understand what you want, engage real estate advisor of your choice, and we always advise to engage their expert, because we are the people who know everything inside out of Cyprus, and we can make your choice easy, efficient, and proper. Easy, efficient, that you will get the property that you want and need. Prepare for your trip, viewing itinerary, KYC documents, source of funds. Book your trip to Cyprus or online viewing. That's another thank you, COVID. We now became very good at online viewings. When you're here, we will help you view selected properties and choose the right property. Appoint a local registered solicitor, or we can help you with property purchase. Pay reservation deposit to withdraw the property from the market. Sign the sale agreement, deposit in the land registry, and enjoy your new home. With your permission, I will skip the checklist, but we prepared the checklist how to help to make your list, the dream wish, the dream list, the wish list easier. And I will introduce our wonderful company. We have amazing team, as I already mentioned, present in all the areas of Cyprus. And I will only share quickly how we work. So if you decide that you would want to further explore possibility of buying property in Cyprus, we would invite you to have a personal free online consultation with our property expert, where we will discuss your goals. We'll discuss if Cyprus is suitable for you. What are the specifics What are the things to bear in mind? We will help you to prepare for the trip with everything. Prepare the itinerary for your trip. Arrange your trip to Cyprus, viewing and selecting properties, sorting out the paperwork. We guide and assist you through the whole process of buying, choosing and buying the property. And we also have after sale service that if you ever decide that you want to sell your investment in the future, we will be very happy to market it for you. And now the bonus page before I come to your questions. You know, last year I decided that I will do a series of advanced webinars when I am not only given the general information, but when I cover very much in detail a specific point. And you know, now I'm thinking maybe by my first degree, I'm the teacher. So maybe this helped me to structure this presentation and the project. So if you want to find out everything about VAT in Cyprus, additional costs in Cyprus, KYC proceeding in the bank, early bird investment strategy, tax regime UK versus Cyprus, I will be very happy to share with you our webinar recordings and presentation so you are better prepared, because I am a big believer in educated decision. So if you want to get any of these resources, please type in the chat which one you would like to receive, and we will share with you the links. And now I will answer the questions, because I can see that there were some interesting questions. And oops, okay, sorry. Okay, I transferred to the, okay, let me see the questions. And guys, if you have any questions, please type now and I will try to answer as many as possible. Okay. I already answered the question, who qualifies for national health insurance and the cost. So the national health insurance, if you are separate, if you are European with yellow slip, if you get permanent residency by investment. The cost, as I mentioned, you normally pay about €6 per visit, and with other specialists, again, it depends, but most time it will be €6. Okay, that's an interesting question. I've been interested in searching for business opportunity in Cyprus real estate market. It's divided into two parts. One, where it is possible to invest in real estate through my company, and second, to live here with my family. Where to buy, where to invest, prices are very volatile. Also interested to move the company to Cyprus. Where is the best information on this? You know, I would recommend you please click on free consultation, and we will be able to answer all the questions, because yes, it's possible to invest in real estate through your company and generate income. You can buy for your family your personal property. Where to buy, where to depends on your investment objectives. What are your expectations? What is your budget? And prices are very volatile. Yes and no. In some areas, in some places, when we do our investment analysis, the risks are still there, but they are minimum, because we are very precise when we are doing our risk assessment. I would recommend you to get my early bird investment strategy webinar, and I think that there it will be covered. Typical investment will be buying real estate and rental. What kind of possibilities and companies could be helpful here? Again, we will be helpful for you to invest, to buy real estate, and we will help you with long-term rentals. If you want to do short-term rentals, we will either recommend you a very reliable company who will undertake it, or advise you how you can structure it yourself. So for Mr. Chris, yes, we will arrange the consultation on permanent residency. What are the terms in case my wife is a EU resident? Okay, if your wife is a EU resident and you are officially married, then you will be able to get yellow slip because you are married to a European resident. Okay, presentation. How long title deeds take to get generated for new building? Wow. At the moment, it can take several years, but this year, in the beginning of the year, the government announced that they are changing the procedures, that they are increasing the workforce in order to reduce the backlog for title deeds. So at the moment, I would say that we should look for about 3-4 years in the future, and hopefully in a very near future, I hope that it will be much faster. Okay. Oh, I'm so happy that you like the idea, because only today I decided to do this bonus resources page. So I'm very happy that you are interested, and I'm very happy that it will be beneficial. Okay, for the permanent residency, do we get it if we purchase a second-hand property or only for new properties? If we're talking about residential property, then only new properties from developers are classified, and you can only apply for the permanent residency after you pay 300,000 plus VAT. Okay. How about finance? Banks in Cyprus. Is it possible to get corporate finance or private finance in Cyprus? Okay, banks in Cyprus do give mortgages. They are not very happy to give financing to foreigners, but it all depends on your personal situation. And we do work with very professional mortgage advisors. We will be able to assist. But yes, they are giving it, and last year and this year we have an increasing share of the properties that are bought with the participation of the banks. Okay, yes, please follow me. I'm trying to increase my Instagram, and maybe if I have more followers, I will be more consistent on it. Well, I can see that I came to the end of the questions, and I even managed only to go 4 minutes past the 6 o'clock timeline. So all I have to do is to thank you very much for being so active. Thank you very much for being part of the webinar. And I want to invite you to Cyprus. I want to invite you to visit us in our offices. I want you, even if you don't want to buy property, even if you just came to Cyprus because you went to you visited my webinar, I will be really happy if more people will find out about Cyprus and more people will fall in love with it as much as I love it. So thank you very much, and hope to see you in Cyprus very soon.